Hey, Lovebirds. Today, another short episode on how to ask for pretty much anything in life, including sex. A couple weeks ago, I did a few episodes on the importance of getting your needs met. Step one is identifying what is your need. What are your desires? What do you want? What do you need? What do you want? Right? Step one. Step two, how do you get those needs met? What are a variety of ways for you to meet those needs? So let's say you want more physical touch. That's the need, right? That's the desire. I want more physical touch. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you want it or need it from your partner. You might think that's what you want. You might think, I want my partner to touch me more. But if you go deeper, you might find out, actually, I just really want more physical touch. Okay. So step one was, I want more touch. Step two is finding a variety of ways to have that need met, right? So one way is to ask your partner, hey, I'd like it if you touch me more. Cool. It's totally valid. But there are other ways of getting touch. Like you can get a massage every week. That might fill your need for touch. You might go to a cuddle party and experience all sorts of touch. That might also meet your need for physical touch. You might even sign up for a jiu-jitsu class where you grapple and wrestle with other people and you get touched. Acro yoga, great way of getting touch, right? So step one was, what's the need? More touch. Step two is, how can I get those needs met? And hopefully, the more ways, the better. The more chances you have of having that need met. Step three, asking for what you want or need. And I have a framework that I've learned from Charlie Glickman and Ash called the 2 and 3 part invite. You can use this invitation to ask for pretty much anything, including sex. The 3-part invite goes like this. Okay, first of all, Charlie Glickman taught me the 2-part invite. Ash taught me the 3-part invite. The third part is optional, but it's essential in certain contexts. So let me break it down. The first part is asking somebody if they're into it or available or interested or up for it or excited. The second part is an expression of interest or desire. And the third part is an out. This is what it might look like if we use our example. Hey, honey, if you're up for it, I would love for us to give each other massages tonight. And if that's not something that you're into or you're too tired for it, I totally understand. So the first part was the check-in. Hey, if you're up for it. Hey, if you're available. Hey, if you're interested. This means that you care about them and that you want their buy-in. Hey, you have a say in this. If you're up for this, I would love for us to exchange massages, right? Part two, I would love for us to exchange massages. Interestingly enough, that's not even a request. A request would be, can we give each other massages? That's more direct. But I would love for us to give us massages will be interpreted by most people as a request. But it's softer. It's softer than, can we give each other massages? And this is important because some people have a hard time saying no. The I would love to softens the ask, and it might just give them enough latitude to say no if they need to say no. And the third part is, if you're not up for this or you don't have the energy for it, I totally understand. Let's just watch that episode of Game of Thrones. So that's the out. The out gives them a way to politely decline and say, you know what? I'm actually not up for that. I'm super tired. And I really appreciate the plan B of cuddling on the couch and watching Game of Thrones. So that's the framework. The 3-part invite where the third part is optional. It depends on context, and it depends on how risky the ask is. The riskier the ask, the more likely it is that you include the third part. If you don't know the person, the more likely it is that you'll include the third part. If you have a lot of trust and respect and confidence in your relationship, the third part is optional, right? If we're talking about a partner of a long time and you know them, you can say, hey, hun, I've been really missing physical attention lately. And if you're up for it, I'd just love for us to just give each other massages tonight. If you know that your partner can advocate for their needs and often will say no when they mean to say no, and won't just say yes because they're people pleasing, then the third part is optional. So this framework works in all contexts. Hey, if you're down to schedule that appointment that we talked about, I'd love for us to do that this week. If not, no big deal. We can find some time next week. Hey, I'm really enjoying our time together. And if you're up for it, I'd love to invite you over to my house after dinner so that we can get naked and maybe have sex. And if that's moving too fast for you, I totally understand. And I'm happy to just either call it here or go grab a drink at another place. Hey, if you're into it, I'd love to eat your pussy tonight. Hey, if you're free tonight, I'd love to play badminton with you. And if that's not up your alley, cool. We can do something else or do it another time. This framework works with anything. Here's a caveat, right? I said how to ask for anything in life, including sex. I'm not suggesting that you use this on strangers. I'm not suggesting that you walk up to someone and say, hey, if you're up for it, I'd love to fuck you. That's not an appropriate use of the framework. You have to consider the content and the audience. And for the most part, asking strangers if they want to sleep with you is inappropriate. That said, I can see where this might work in sort of an online dating scenario where you are on Tinder and you are horny and you want sex and you want to find someone to have sex with. You can use this. You really can, no matter if you're a man or a woman. And it's a lot more respectful than want to fuck or hey, blow me. You can send a message that says, hey, I think you're super attractive. And if you're up for it, I am totally interested and excited in potentially having sex with you. Knowing full well that most people are going to say no to this. And that it's super bold and super risky for me to ask, but I would rather do it in honesty and transparency than to agree to go on drinks, to have drinks or have dinner with you, and to somehow find a way to have sex because that is all that I'm available for. I would much rather have the first scenario where someone says, hey, if you're up for it, I'd love to have sex. And if you're not, I totally understand. And have a beautiful evening. I just need to make that distinction clear. This isn't something that you use to hit on people indiscriminately. But if you have identified somebody that you're interested in and you want to propose an activity, there is a way to do this in all honesty and transparency with respect and intention and care. There really is. Assuming that you have to accept the consequences of this action. I use this framework all the time. I use it with my girlfriend. I use it with my friends. I use it with my family. Hey, if you're up for it, I'd love to have dinner with you. I'll do that rather than ask somebody if they want to have dinner with me. There's something just that's a little bit more powerful by expressing your desire. Hey, if you're free tomorrow, I would love to have dinner with you. That's nice. That sounds nice. I would want to be the recipient of that. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, do you want to grab dinner tomorrow? That's fine. The 2 and 3 part ask, invite, is just a little bit bolder. And that boldness makes a difference. It does. So that's it. That's how to ask for pretty much anything in life. Hey, John, if you're up for it, I'd love to sit down and talk about my future role at this company. And if this isn't the right time for that conversation, just let me know. Hey, if you're available and single and interested, I'd love to go on a date with you. And if you're not available for that, I totally understand. I'm happy to continue exploring this friendship together. I just wanted to ask because I think you're great. Step one is really to muster up the courage to have this conversation, to make this ask. And I can imagine that for a lot of you, the fear of rejection or the fear of being too needy is preventing you from asking for what you want. But here's the reality. Nobody can read your mind. Nobody can read your mind, and you're not going to get anything unless you ask for it. Sure, there are some edge cases in which someone recognizes your nonverbal ask for something. But for the most part, you're not going to get anything unless you ask for it. And there are a myriad of opportunities for you to ask for your needs to be met. The universe will continuously bring people and situations into your life until you learn to do this. To advocate for yourself, to ask for what you want and ask for what you need. And yes, when you do this, you run the risk of someone saying no, which is cool because then you can know that that person is not able or willing to meet your need, and you can meet somebody else or find a different way for that need to be met. But when you don't ask, you don't even give them the opportunity to say yes or no. You rob them of the opportunity to meet your need. And some people are dying to meet your needs. They really are. They love you. They want to meet your needs. They want to go on a date with you. They want to have sex with you. They want you to ask about a promotion. They want this, but they're not going to do the work for you. They will not do the work for you. So you have to do the work. You have to put your ass on the line and ask for what you want. And now you have the framework to do it. Hey, if you're interested, I would love this. And if you're not, that's cool. That's it. That's what it boils down to. Hey, if you're available. Hey, if you're interested. Hey, if you're a yes to this. Hey, if you're up for it. Hey, if you're excited. Hey, if you're pumped. Hey, if you're horny. I'd love to eat your pussy for an hour. Minimum. Because I love you and I love eating your pussy. And if you're not up for that, awesome. Just let me know. Ask for what you want. You now have the framework. You just put your words in this structure and ask. You can do this. And, you've heard me say it before. The more you do anything, the better you get at it. That's just the way it is, baby. My name is Sean Galanos, and this has been a shorty episode of The Love Drive. Have a beautiful week.